Okay. In the last video, we were trying to wire up this these MOSFETs, and it turns out that the middle MOSFET was actually broken. So I spent quite a few hours debugging it and finding out that it was broken, and then I had to rewire everything, or find out how to desolder the center one, take it out, and replace it. But it should be all good to go now. So we'll test it out. Yeah, and if you saw in the earlier part of the video, I was soldering it using aluminum foil, and I was also testing it on aluminum foil. Yeah, it turns out these contacts on the back, yeah, they're conductive. So, yeah, not good. So that might have caused it to short out. But let's see if we can hook this up. So white in this case goes to white. So let's connect this. Oh, come on. Think that's good enough? No, I should. It's always one stupid pin, isn't it? Okay, so now this should be connected to the LED light strip. I'll put this right in viewing angle. Alright, so then these pins need to go to the Pi. The green one is connected to ground, so that needs to go to a ground pin. In this case, we're going to be using these 4 pins right here to control it. So I will connect ground, connect all of these, ground, and then it's just 4 regular GPIO pins is what we're using. Oh, come on, almost. Okay, there we go. So now the Pi is connected to this light strip, and we can power on the light strip and hopefully not fry the Pi. The light's still on, so we're good. Okay, now I'm gonna flip around the camera, and you can check out me testing it. Okay, so here we are again. As you can see, we've got everything wired up, and we are ready to test. Now, if you take a look at the wiring diagram here, these are the pins that we connected to it. So it should be GPIO pins 13, 19, and 26, and then ground is pin 39, which is a green wire here. So, okay. So I've got it connected to Wi-Fi, so we're just gonna SSH into the Raspberry Pi, and here we go. I'm gonna turn on tmux so I can do multiple things at once. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is turn on something called PigPyOD, which is a daemon for the library. So yeah. Oh, it's probably already running actually, so it should be okay. Okay, so I've got a Python script that I've been working on called lights.py. So if I turn this on, it should, ooh, okay, yep, that'll do it. Put me into the console. Okay, so you can see it flashed white and then turned black. So what we can do is I can specify, so here, actually let me pull up the code for you. Control B and ampersand. Okay, so see how I can split the screen into half here? That's because of a program called tmux. But on this screen I can pull up the code. So lights.py. So this is the code. So up here I specified pins 19, 13, and 26 as RGB2. And if we go all the way down to the bottom here, so this is a code that runs when it first starts. creates an instance of a class called LightStrip, which is a class that I programmed, and then it fades colors to black. And by default, the pins are set to white. So from here, we can issue commands and get it to do whatever we want. So if I do Control B and back, I can switch back over to this console. And this is inside of a Python shell, so you can see that the Python program never ended. So what we are going to do is we're just going to do fade colors. Colors. And we are going to fade it to white for now. Hey, we've got white. Okay. So I have a couple of colors pre-programmed, so we could do sky blue. Ooh, yay, sky blue. And then we can do orange. Oh. All right, so you get the idea. So this, as I said before, this was already working with that light strip there until I fried the Pi when, yeah, it broke. So I'm gonna come right back real quick and I've got a cool light sequence set up that I can show you. Okay, so we're back. The only thing I did was I grabbed a pair of speakers and I hooked them up to the speaker port on the Raspberry Pi. So I am going to run a handy little function I wrote called red alert. So that's a kind of cool project I did. Basically, I just programmed it to synchronize the lights to the sound. And ultimately, this is going to be hooked up to, well, basically all around the house. So, you know, someone opens the front door and red alert. I also have been working on something else, which I'll actually demo after I get this hooked up. So be right back, and there we go. So I just finished hooking up the Raspberry Pi, and we're waiting for it to boot, which it just finished. Okay, so let's see if we can test this out. All right, there we are. So now we're back in. Okay. Okay. The last thing we have to connect is right here. Ooh. So I just extended the connection here for the power. So last thing is plugging this in, and hopefully it doesn't fry my Pi. Let's find out. So I got this wired up. The problem was that the end piece on this extension cord wasn't connected properly, so I just had to put a different head on. So the ultimate goal of this project is I want to hook it up so that my door, my bedroom door, when the door is opened, this connection here will be broken, and my Pi can detect that. And so when it's opened, it'll send a signal to the Pi, and the Pi will start a morning program, which is basically choreographed lights and sound,